Peter from Cars and Guitars, continuing my video series on how to build a 427 Cobra kit car. While I'm waiting for the rest of the engine parts to come in, and most of it being completed at the machine shop, I want to do some fiberglass work to the body. In particular, I want to extend these wheel wells. You can see the front fender here doesn't stick out beyond the tire far enough. We have a problem here where the tire has a chance of coming up and hitting this fiberglass. So what I want to do is I want to extend this fender well, get it over the tire, and cut it off on the inside so that when I ride, the tire doesn't come up, hit the body, and ruin the finished job. Here's a close-up picture of the fender well. You can see how the tire sticks out beyond the fender. So we need to extend that fender well out beyond the tire. Before I show you how to do the repair, let's look at Fiberglass Construction and how fiberglass parts are made. First, the mold is coated with a release agent that helps release the part. Then it's sprayed with a layer of gel coat. This is the white part that you see. A layer of glass cloth and resin is put in there for support and strength, and there's another coated gel coat in there just to even things out. Finally, the strength comes from a stranded fiber layer, really thick, with polyester resin. Here's a close-up picture of the part I took off the car or cut. You can see each individual layer in this picture. Now, extending a fender well in fiberglass is very easy. If this were metal, we'd have to make a panel, beat it into shape, and then weld it on, fill it in, and do a lot of metal work, and that would take a lot of time. But since this is fiberglass, this is fairly easy. And all we need to do that is some styrofoam, where you can get anywhere, dumpsters, packing material, some foam, and some masking tape, and some spray expandable polyurethane foam. And all you're going to do is you're going to break off pieces of styrofoam just like this, and take them and tape them. You're just going to take some tape and tape them onto the fender well, and just sort of start to get a shape of extending that wheel well like that. So you can put them the long way, whichever way you want, because we're just going to fill in the gaps. But just to start to take them and just start to put in a shape and go all the way around the fender well, just like that, with styrofoam, and just tape them into place. These are going to, it's only temporary. They're going to be taken off later on, but that's just to keep the shape of the fender. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take expandable foam. This is just great stuff. You can buy it at Home Depot or Walmart for $3 or $4 a can. And you take this foam and you lay down layers of this foam all the way along, and you just work up and you make consecutive layers, build it up in layers, and work and lay beads down all the way up and then all the way out. So you're going to be building up a foam shelf here, and you want to try and make it go the direction and the shape that you want to make the fender well. Work in small layers, lay one bead down, lay another bead next to it, and then work your way up and work your way out, and let that dry for about 15 minutes. The surface will harden. Then you can come back with another coat and make it a little higher, and keep working until you get bigger than the surface you want, because we're going to cut that down after it all dries. I'm working on both sides of the car at the same time, and you can see I already have one layer of polyurethane foam here. It's sanded down. I have it cut down already. There were some small holes, so I filled those in with the bottle and just filled in the gaps. And what I'm using is a saw. It's a very flexible saw, and the unique thing about this saw is the teeth go in both directions, so it cuts as you pull and it cuts as you push. And when you cut the foam, it's as simple as then laying it on the fender, getting a shape, and then just sort of cutting and working it out this direction, and you cut out. So you're sort of shaping and carving the foam and building the shape that you want. You can see I already have it cut almost to the desired length that I want, so it's almost sticking out of the tire, so the tire's underneath. And all you do is work very slow, and you're going to want to have a vacuum cleaner hand because it's very messy. So you work slow and just cut along, just like so. Cut the foam off, just like that, and you work very slow from the top down and start to shape the fender just the way you want to have it shaped. All we're doing is creating a temporary mold here. Temporary, it's going to be pulled out from underneath the fiberglass after we put the fiberglass matting on. I'm doing something a little different here. I want to actually build on this foam and create a mud flap for the tire. You can see that there's a lot of foam sticking up here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my saw, again working from the body towards the outside part of the fender. I'm going to take this and just start to slowly trim this off. Just slowly shape, cut, and you can see that it's very easy to cut shapes, and it's very easy to sculpt. still a little flexible, so you got to be careful. You don't want to break it off. But I'm just cutting very lightly, taking very short strokes, and just chipping away a little bit at a time. I'm going to hold on to this, maintaining. I want to make sure I get a straight cut here, so I'm going to cut down, just like so. You can see it doesn't take very long to start to get your desired shape. I just have to try and get this rounded up a little bit on the bottom. Just like so. Round this corner off just a little bit. Now I'll continue to work all the way around the fender, all the way up to the top and around in the same fashion. Okay, after about 45 minutes of sanding, cutting with the saw, shaping the outside of the fender, cutting it to a circle, make sure it matches the shape of the wheel. I'm just going to take a sanding board, just to make sure that the outside is flat. Working very slow, very easily. Just making sure it's a flat edge. 90 degrees, you want to make sure that it's perpendicular to the ground. And that way you get a nice square corner on the fender. So I'm going to do that all the way around. All the way down. And working all the way down to the front. So not counting drying time for the polyurethane foam, it was about 2 hours to form this wheel well. You can see it's very rough. It's just a mold, and it's just a shape to follow with the fiberglass. And here's the mud flap that I built in. And I'll show you from the inside here so you can see that it really is, it's just a buildup of foam parts with the polyurethane foam sprayed in, right in the wheel well there. So we have the original lip, and you can see this is the original lip of the fiberglass body the way it came, and I've extended it out to here. So you can see that's about, let's say, 3.5 inches where it came out. And then I blended it down to the front here, so it's nice and round from the front. And you can see from the front here the way it blends. So for materials, it was about maybe $10 for materials to build that fender well. Total cost for all the fiberglass and cloth and the matting and the resin is about $50. So it's about $50 a fender well to extend, and about, let's say, 4 hours, 5 hours a piece. So it really doesn't take that long. There are many ways to do this. I've done it many different ways, but this is the cheapest, really the easiest and most forgiving, because if you do make a mistake, all you have to do is add some more foam on and then keep sanding. But it comes out fairly nice. It gives you a nice finish. It's easy to work with, and I'm sure if you take your time, be successful, you can do the same thing. Now, the next step will be putting the fiberglass cloth and the fiberglass matting on there to give it strength. And what we'll end up doing is pulling this mold out from underneath, and we'll have a finished fender well.